Hey everybody, in this video here, you're going to be learning how to kind of make this 3D abstract, but like get modern advertisement kind of poster. I was originally thinking like product only, but then I realized they work really well for athletes. I want to show you three examples that I threw together, and then we're going to make a fourth, like step by step together. So here's my Roger Federer one. This one is going to be the most simple of them. You'll see that they get a little complicated as they go further. The text is also going to be a requirement, so whatever you're advertising, whether that be like an athlete, a product, a musician, something, you will need some kind of like title or text. Here's another one. I thought it worked really well with like candy. So this one you'll see is horizontal. I think horizontal is actually harder to do. So in this demo, I'm going to do vertical. If you want to do horizontal, you literally just swap the two numbers and everything will be okay. But I think that vertical composition wise is easier. So here's the last one for a sneaker. This was my original idea was sneaker products, but then I thought maybe not everybody wants to do a sneaker, so I think they work with everything. And what you can see with the candy one and the sneaker one is that you also have this like pattern that's kind of transparent in the background right here and right here. I like that, where the Federer one is more minimalistic. So I think we're going to make that transparency thing a little bit of a requirement. That being said, easy to do. All right, how we make this. Let me delete my little three example screenshots. For this demo, you are going to need a file from Schoology. I want to show you where that is. You will find a folder called Modern Advert in your Schoology class. Again, this is just in the resources, so this is minimal at the moment. You'll click in there, and there'll be a bunch of other things, assignments, etc. But the one that you're looking for is DualSense Edge.webp. We're going to use this photo for the demo. I think it's a good, easy one to use. So click on it, and it'll open in a blank tab, but it'll actually download, so you can close that extra tab. If you go into your downloads folder right here, you'll see it. You could just probably leave that in the downloads folder for right now. We'll get back to that in a hot moment. I want to show you a trick that I learned recently on Google Images as to how I got that photo. So let me open up a tab and let me just go to Google real quick. And I searched Dual Sense Edge, and then I went to Google Images. Now, I've already told you before, I'm sure, tools, size, and large. However, check this out. A lot of times you want a photo of something with no background, and these either have white backgrounds or colored backgrounds. We don't want a background at all. Under color, there's an option for transparent, meaning like no background. So if you hit that, all these photos here, even though they look like they have white backgrounds, this is the literal one that I found when you click on it, on the thumbnail on the left. This checkerboard pattern here is representation of transparency. So it's a literal high quality with a shadow, transparent photo. All of these, when you click on them, should convert to checkerboards. Got to be careful. This one doesn't look like it does. This does. So anytime that you want something, like for your individual project later, you're going to go to Google Images, Tools, Transparent or Color, and then Transparent. And that way you don't have to worry about taking out the background or anything like that. Now, if you can't find a photo that is not good and it has a background, I'll have an extra like worksheet or example of how to take it out of the background. But this could save you a good chunk of time. All right, let's close out of there now that we have a photo downloaded, and we're going to open up Adobe Illustrator for this project. So right here is Adobe. Open it up, and then you're going to hit New File in the top left. With New File, you can ignore everything on the left. We're just going for stuff on the right over here. I'm going to name it Modern Advert Example, or Demo maybe, I guess is more applicable. Your dimensions, I already have them. They are in inches. The width is 12. The height is 18. The color mode you can leave as CMYK. I think RGB works just fine here as well. And raster effects are high. Everything else just leave default. I wouldn't touch it. And then hit create. Should get a tall white rectangle. With Illustrator this year, we're going to do a couple projects in here that require the classic user interface. This is a much more simple one. I like it aesthetically, but the tools are kind of like hidden and missing under this little extra edit toolbar down here. So I think it'll actually be easier for us if we all do this right now. So very important. Ready? Up at the top of your screen, you're going to find Window. Click on Window. After you do, you're looking for an option called Workspace. Hover over it, and you'll see a option called the Essentials Classic. This is a little more cluttered, but has way more options, easy for you to click. And there they are, Essentials Classic. The first thing I want to talk about is layers and where that is in here, because layers used to be like right here. This button that I'm hovering over right now that looks like two slices of cheese on top of each other maybe is layers. When you click there, then you'll get your layers view. So you can hide it out of sight if you want to, all right? We actually need that though for the first thing that we're going to do, and that's bring our photo in. So let's take care of that now. In the bottom left of your taskbar, you will find the Finder button. Under Finder, on the left of it, you'll find your Downloads folder, and hopefully you can locate the DualSense Edge one that you downloaded. Move this folder around so that you can see the white space of your rectangle. Take the photo, click, drag, and drop it onto the white. Now, it doesn't, Illustrator's weird. It doesn't look like it actually dropped it in there. Ready? Click back in Illustrator, and then it'll appear. A lot of times I come over and I see that like students are like, it's not working, and then I click in Illustrator and there's like 10 of these images. So there we go. There's our image. You could probably just center it for right now. We're going to do more with this in a bit. More importantly, on the layer where it says layer 1, double tap on the text so that it like glows blue. Call this stock photo, and then hit the return key. The other thing that you want to do here is lock this layer. So boom, lock. All right, we are going to make a background. So we have to make a new layer. In the bottom of the layer menu right here, there's the plus sign that looks like the one in Photoshop. That is also create new layer. Go ahead and hit that, and you'll see layer 2. Double click on that, and we'll call this background, and then hit the return key. Background, though, we need it below the stock photo, so click, drag it, and drop it below stock photo like that. All right, we need to zoom out here. So same zoom out functions. You can pinch and pull on the trackpad, or Command minus to zoom out, Command plus to zoom in. You want to be able to see all of your screen right now. Let me also double check something else. Good. All right, we'll get to that later, what I was doing. All right, you're looking for a tool on the left side called Rectangle Tool right here. Select that. Illustrator has things that are different than Photoshop in terms of color. So down on the bottom left right here, you have a fill color. So if I were to make a rectangle right now, the inside of the square is white and the outside is black. Here, I'm going to change this. We'll do red and we'll do black. And I want to show you what that means. Let me deselect and let me zoom in. See how the inside of the rectangle, let me not hover over it, is red, and there's a thin outline of black. So, oh, you'll also notice if you've never used Illustrator before, even though that this is your like print canvas, you can work in and out of the canvas. Anything outside this black line around your box, though, won't print if we go to print it. I need to delete that square. Why I'm telling you all this and not just like, hand feeding it to you. You could pick any color right now for the inside color or the fill color. This bottom one, the stroke, is called. You want to click on it so that it's the front color right here, and we don't want any outline. So down here, you'll see 3 other buttons. There's one with the red slash. If you click that, what that means is that there's no outline to your rectangle now. So if you deselected the rectangle tool, grab the rectangle tool, and you can make your rectangle bigger than the box. So click, drag, and drop or let go, and you should see a rectangle like that. Now, the reason why I said you can make it any color you want is we're going to change it right now. We are looking for the gradient tab. So over here by where layers was, this is layers right here, go up a little bit, and you will find this one right here that's kind of like an ombre right there, gradient. Open that up. Now, the type of gradient that we want to make is freeform, but you'll notice it's grayed out right now. Really common mistake. I literally just made it. See how I have the stroke effect selected right now in the cancel? Click back on the fill so that the fill is the front color. Then we'll go over to the gradient tab, and now you'll see freeform gradient right here. Click that. This is an amazing, cool little thing. What it does is it gives you 4 dots in the corners of your screen. These you can make any color that you want, and I recommend you pull colors directly from your photo. There is a little bit of blue in this controller, and I do want that blue. So what I do on the dot is double click a dot, and you'll see this window pop up. You could manually pick a color, and feel free to do that if you want to. Right? Like I could go for like a dark blue up here or something, or maybe like a cyan. Or you can hit this eyedropper tool right here. And there you can click anywhere on the photo and it'll grab that literal color from the photo. I like taking them from the photo because that, like, I don't know, creates a cool synergy. So I'm gonna click on the next dot, and you'll notice that the eyedropper is still selected. So while that one's still selected, I'll go to like the next one, pick a different one. I might actually try to grab yet another blue. Ooh, that's pretty. And then I'll go down here to the bottom, and maybe I'll try to grab like a gray. All right. Something else you can do with these dots is you can take the black arrow up here, the selection tool, click on that. Oh, it went away. Interesting. Okay, well, let me show you this. If the edit mode detracts, see where it says edit gradient right here? Hit that again, and you'll find that all your dots are back. So now you can kind of click and drag and move these dots around. I might want white or the lighter color under the controller, and I might want to separate the blues. So you'll move a blue up here, a blue up there, or down here. Anyway, you can move them all around and figure out what you think is the neatest kind of like look to it. Actually kind of enjoying the white up at the top. There we go. All right, when you are satisfied with your gradient, go ahead and take the black arrow, click off, deselect everything by just clicking out in here. All right, that is our background. Let's close the gradient window, and we're gonna open back up the layer window. So now we see background. If you click right here, that will lock a background because we don't want that to edit anymore. And we want to make a brand new layer, once again, layer 3. Double click on layer 3, and we'll call this the twirl, Twirl, and hit return. Twirl, you can and probably should leave behind the stock photo at the moment. The other thing that is going to be helpful for this is swiping with 2 fingers. So don't press, but place 2 fingers on the trackpad and move your image as far left as you possibly can. We're going to work in the open space over here. All right, so with the twirl layer selected, you are looking for a tool called the line segment tool. It's right here where I just clicked. Go ahead and select that. Now, we don't want a fill for this. We just want an outline, the opposite of our box. So I'm going to hit this button, but you'll see that it doesn't take the gradient away. So what I recommend doing is first changing it back to a solid color, the fill that is, and then hitting none. Then select your stroke color right here and make it a solid color. Doesn't matter what color it is. Again, we're going to put a gradient on it in just a second. All right, up somewhere here-ish, like where I am, click once, and you'll see line segment tool options pop up. I think the best size is 100 px. The px stands for pixels. Now the other really important thing, angle, 0. We just want a straight line. You'll see what the 100 px did was converted it to inches. Don't be alarmed at that. Like if I go retype in 100 px and just click off, you'll see that it converts to inches. But we're gonna go by pixels because it's an easy number. Then hit OK. And you should see a little speck of a line right there. Now with that line still selected, you're going to go back to the gradient tool, or the gradient window right here, and you can't put a freeform on this. So we're just going to do a linear gradient right here. Click that. And now with linear gradient, you'll see that you just have white to black. Let me zoom out because I think what's easy for this, and the reason why we did the background first, we're going to take our colors from the background. So you have the white one, you have the black one. You can move them around and you can add more. Here's how you add more. Click about here, here, and here, trying to divide them up relatively evenly. You can click and move these dots around. Now, getting the colors. Let's start with the left and we'll work our way to the right. Click on the dot, and then you'll see the eyedropper tool over here. Click on that, and then click anywhere on your image, and it'll grab that color. I want to specify that the color on the left is most likely going to be the most prominent color in your pattern, and then it gets like the middle ones are the least prominent, and then it kind of becomes more important again off to the right. So whatever colors you want to be your like big powerhouse colors, choose them as the two edge colors, and then the not as powerful ones can be the two middle ones. Go about there. And I want to bring the blues or purpley hues back. All right, satisfied. So there we go. They're all selected. I can click out of the gradient window, and if I zoom in on my line now, see how it's, you can see the gradient on it? You can trust me on that one that yours is there. All right, now we need to do some tweaking because we just don't want this to be just a line. This is maybe hard to remember. Let's see if I can remember it. Up at the top of your screen, you will see Effect. It's in between Select and View. Under Effect, scroll down, and you will find Distort and Transform. Under there, if you hover over that, you will find Zigzag right here. In Zigzag, here are the settings that I recommend / require. Size, 3 pixels. Absolute for the size. Ridges per segment, 4. Points, smooth. This is very important, otherwise it looks god-awful. See how size changes and converted to inches again? That's okay. Then hit OK. And if we zoom in, see how your line is more of a little like kind of curvy boy? All right. Then, we only have one though. We will kind of want multiple lines for this, so watch this. Go back to Effect at the top, go back to Distort and Transform, hover over it, don't click on it, and then click on Transform right here. So after you click on Transform, there's a lot of settings in here, but here are the only things that you really have to do. Ready? It is angle. You want to change that to 30. And then copies at the bottom, we want 5 copies of that. So 30-degree rotation, 5 copies, hit OK. And you'll see that you get this kind of like effect going on your shape now, which is cool. All right, and exactly what we want. So here's a little neat trick for you. We want 2 of these. And how to get them, take the selection tool, the black arrow in the top left, click on that. And then while you're hovering over your object, like in the dead center of it, hold down the Option key on your keyboard. It's to the left of Command. And while Option is held down, click, drag, still leave Option held down this whole time. And see how it has that pink line right there? That means they're perfectly lined up. Let go of the trackpad before you let go of Option, and then let go of Option. And now, if I click off, you'll see that I have 2 of these. You want to just have the bottom one selected. So you can tell it's selected with that green line right there. And we got to make it bigger. So to make this bigger, you can't really just stretch it out normally like you normally would an object. You got to go up here into the top right where it says Properties. The width is the only thing that we want to change. Highlight that, delete that, and let's go, I think a really good number was 500 px for pixels, and then hit return. Yeah. If I click off, see how one is bigger than the other? That's exactly what we want. We're almost done. So we're going to go back to our tools on our left side, and you're looking for this one tool right here called Blend. The hotkey for it appears to be W. This is really neat. It'll take, as you can see in this little video, one object and like blend it in with another one. So before we do that though, let's change some settings. Double tap on the blend tool itself, and you'll get this thing pop up, the blend options. Change smooth color to specified distance. And in specified distance, pretty small, 2 pixels. Leave the orientation as the angle to page, or align to page, not align to path, and then hit OK. All right, now that we have that, now we can actually use it. Hover over your first shape and click just once. Now, it doesn't look like anything happened, but I promise something did. Go to your second shape, the bigger one, hover over that, and click a second time. And there you go. It merged the two together. But now we got to make this cool thing like zig and zag and everything like that. So what I need y'all to do is to take the selection tool up here, make sure that the object is in fact selected, and we are going to go to, or no, actually I lied. We're going to just leave this right here. We're going to make our own custom zigzag. I think we can do this on the same layer too, yeah. This tool here will really help us. It's called curvature tool. You can see where I am currently hovering over. Go ahead and click on that. And you don't really need to change any settings on this. We're just gonna make a cool path. I want you guys to think about what looks neat with this. I'm gonna start like up here. I'm gonna click once. I'm gonna click a second time. And after I click a second time, the next time I move my cursor, you'll see that it starts to bend the line. You can make kind of whatever curvy shape that you want. Now, it's easy to get a bad result on this. So what I recommend is don't leave it too tight, don't leave it too wide. And when you do finish the curve, I actually like taking it like out of the shape, like making it bigger than I need. See how it's like that? Once you're good, while it's still curving around and stuff like that, just go up to the top left and select the selection tool. Because now it'll, you can click off and deselect it. And you'll see that you have this crazy line. I want you to select both this shape and the line. How to do that? Zoom out a lot and click, drag, and let go. And you'll see that both of them are selected in this big box. While they're both selected, you're going to go to Objects, and you're going to go to Blend. All the way down, pretty far down under Object. Then hover over Blend and do Replace Spine. We're doing some surgery. And then let go, or click. Give it a second, and voila, there you go. There is your shape. So you can move this thing around as you see fit. You can also rotate this. So maybe you want certain pieces in. Now, be careful when you rotate because, let me tell you, this thing can get out of hand pretty fast. And place it wherever you want. Now, do note, anything outside this black little border right here will not print. And if you want to get a really good view of what your final result's going to look like, let me show you a cool trick. View at the top of your screen, and then trim view right here. Because what that does, you can still move this guy around, but you get an actual, like, hey, this is what this is going to look like kind of aesthetic. After you have one of these, ready, placed exactly where you want, hold the Option key, click, drag, let go of the trackpad, then let go of Option, and you have a second one. With this second one selected, see where it says opacity over here under properties? Turn that really far down. We're talking like 25 or below. Then you can rotate this guy around in ideally like a completely different viewpoint from the first one and move it wherever you want as well. And then let me let go, click off to deselect. And that way you have even more of like a detailed background with something else going on. I'm actually liking this. This is neat. All right, text, and we're done, everybody. So now that we have twirl right there, let's lock that. We don't really want that anymore. We need text. We're going to make a brand new layer. So let me hit the Create New Layer button. And we're going to call this Text 1. Because there will be 2 text layers. Click and drag it to make it the literal top layer just so it's easier to see. And we're going to grab the text tool over here, or the type tool. It's like a literal T. With the type tool selected, let's make sure our colors are good. We don't want a stroke for the, for the text at the moment, but we do want a fill. So click on the fill so the fill box is bigger, and then click on just the solid color option where my mouse cursor is right now. Don't worry about the color of the font. We're going to change it like in a hot second. Afterwards, character over here. This is like your type of font. Myriad Pro is a bad font, but it is the default font. We want to change that to Helvetica. So HELV should bring up Helvetica. The best form of Helvetica is Helvetica Neue Condensed Black. This is used in a lot of modern advertisements, and that's why we're going to use it here. If you took my class last year, I think we used this as well. It's good and simple. All right, condensed black is good. Size, where it says 12 point right there. Make that 72. We are going to have to make that even bigger in the next step, but we'll start with 72. Then let's click off the screen a little bit. Let's click over here. And what you're going to do is click just once. And you should see, oh, it's not going to show it because of our view. So real quick, go to View, and then you see where it says trim view right there? Click off of trim view. And now we can see all of our outside stuff. So then you'll see lorem ipsum appear right here. Lorem ipsum is an editable, ready-to-use text. So before you even bother typing lorem ipsum, see how it always goes black with the text? Double-click this black fill square, and in here you can pick your color, but go white. It's easier. It's guaranteed to look good if you do white. So drag that all the way to the top left, hit OK. Now, I recommend doing this in all caps. I don't think your design looks as good if you do lower cases. This controller is called the DualSense Edge. Dual. And then I think I'm just going to do all one word. Sense. Is it S-E-N-C-E or S-E? S-E will go, I hope. So now that I did one word, if you have two, just do one at a time. So DualSense being one, Edge being a second. Take the selection tool, your black arrow, move it into position of where you want it. I do recommend that you put it over the controller. Now, anytime you size text in Illustrator, watch. Ugh, right? Not good. Hold the Shift key before you click and drag to make it bigger. And you want it to go pretty much across the page. So there's DualSense. We'll leave that right about like there. Click off. I'm going to go back to the type tool over here, T. I'm going to click again over here. And you can see, once again, it always goes to black. Double-click the black square and change that back to white. Hit OK. And with lorem ipsum still shown, Edge, E-D-G, is what you're going to type. And then we're going to take the Move tool, hold Shift, make it big, put it into place. Up to you. I always think it looks really cool in designs where the fonts line up about. So right there. And position that nicely, get them pretty close. All right, now, we want to duplicate this layer. This is the really cool text effect. So open your layer window, and you'll see text 1. Click and drag text 1 onto the new layer button and let go, and watch what happens. You'll get text 1 copy. Take text 1 and drag it below stock photo, like that. And then lock it, okay? We're going to work on this copy layer here. Select the copy layer. Then what you can do, see DualSense, click on Edge, or yeah, DualSense and Edge. Click on Edge, hold Shift, click on the other one, and they'll both select. Alternatively, ready, you could literally just do this. Click, drag, and they're both selected. So make sure both words are selected. This is the last step of the entire project right here. So over with your fill color and no stroke, there's this button right here that swaps them. Ready? Hit that. And you'll see that the fill is none and the stroke is white. And then literally click off. And voila. There you go. There is your finished one. You could take this. See where it says stroke up here in the top where it says 1 point? You could click this up arrow a little bit. Maybe make it 3. Nah. I actually like it at 1. Yeah. So anyway, an option for you guys. Let's look at what that looks like without the background. So view and then trim view right here. And there we go. There's our finished product. All right. To save and upload, file, save as, and we want to do both. So one option right here, Creative Cloud, click on that, and then hit save. And again, double check for the cloud icon right here. Oh, linked assets. Oh my gosh, I forgot a really important part of this project. Lock every layer. Select the stock photo layer right here. Hit this lock button, unlock it. Click on the image, okay? And when the image is selected, over here under quick actions, you'll find a button that says embed. Hit embed. I cannot believe I forgot that. Now lock it. If you don't do that, the photo gets deleted when you submit the file to me for me to print. So I'll mention that hopefully earlier in the video or when I'm teaching it. All right, now that we cloud saved it, let's save it to the computer so that we can upload it to Schoology. So file save as, and then on your computer, because you need a computer copy for Schoology, the where should be desktop, and then you can just hit save. You'll get this window here. Just hit OK. Nothing really. You don't have to change anything in there. We'll minimize out of Illustrator. We'll close our downloads folder. And there it is. That will be the file that you upload to Schoology, and you're done. Good job.